At InnEngine, we believe that the future of transportation belongs to those who manage to merge the best of electric and internal combustion solutions in a single platform, in what we know as electric vehicles with range extender.
They told us the engine was perfected, that nothing new could change the world of power and speed. They were wrong. Hidden in the shadows, an invention emerged. A one-stroke engine so radical, it defies everything you thought you knew about mechanics. Smaller, stronger, cleaner, yet kept from the spotlight. Why? Because it doesn't just challenge convention, it threatens industries. But is it the future we've dreamed of? Or is it another empty promise?
The perfect engine for such vehicle must have three main qualities. It has to be light and small in order to accommodate the extra motor and batteries. It has to be silent and run smoothly so that passenger experience is not disturbed when it goes on and off. And most importantly, it has to be efficient in order to increase autonomy while remaining clean.
The Rex engine comes from the company InnEngine, and it is often described as a one-stroke engine. While the term one-stroke might sound like something revolutionary, it's important to note that the way this engine operates is different from what we traditionally expect from one-stroke engines. Despite the claims of a single-stroke operation, this engine's design is what makes it particularly unique. One of the key selling points is its incredibly lightweight. In fact, InnEngine claims that a typical four-stroke engine with the same power would be about 4 times as heavy and 4 times the size of the Rex engine. This lightness, combined with its quiet operation and lack of vibrations, makes the Rex engine stand out. These factors are not just for the sake of novelty, but have real-world applications that could impact the future of transport. Imagine an engine that can deliver high performance without the noise, vibration, and bulk of traditional engines. That's the promise the Rex engine holds, but does it live up to it? To understand how the Rex engine achieves these characteristics, we need to look at the technology inside. One of the most noticeable features when examining the engine is the arrangement of its pistons. Unlike the typical pistons found in most engines, which move up and down in a linear fashion, the pistons in the Rex engine are arranged to push away from each other. This is called an opposed piston design, and it is key to how the engine works. In traditional engine designs, pistons move within cylinders to create pressure and combustion. However, in the case of the Rex engine, the opposed pistons are designed to push away from one another, which helps in reducing the energy loss to the top of the cylinder. In regular engines, this energy is often dissipated as excess heat, but with the Rex engine, this energy is used more efficiently. Instead of just generating heat, the energy is harnessed to move the opposite piston and perform more useful work. This makes the engine significantly more efficient, as the energy is directed in a way that benefits performance rather than being wasted. Opposed piston engines are not new. They've been around for over 100 years. However, the Rex engine is different because it combines this opposed piston design with a swash plate, which is a type of plate that rotates to transfer motion. The use of a swash plate in engine design is also not entirely new. It's a common component used in pumps, compressors, and other machinery. In the Rex engine, however, the swash plate is employed in a unique way to help the pistons perform their work more efficiently. Now let's take a closer look at how the swash plate works in the Rex engine. The swash plate in this case is not your typical flat disc. Instead, it has a wavy design. This wave-like shape helps the engine cycle smoothly, which in turn reduces vibrations. The smoother operation makes the engine quieter and helps it run more efficiently. Additionally, the position of each swash plate can be adjusted to change the motion of the pistons. This is where it gets interesting. By adjusting the swash plate, the pistons move slightly out of sync with one another. This means that instead of both pistons meeting in the middle at exactly the same time, they don't quite align, which changes how the fuel is compressed. This slight change in the timing of piston movement means that the fuel inside the engine is squeezed together less than in traditional engines. The benefit of this is that different fuels can be used with more flexibility. Some fuels need more compression than others, and with the Rex engine, the design allows it to be optimized for a variety of fuel types. This could be significant for the future of more sustainable fuel options, such as hydrogen, which requires different handling than traditional petrol or diesel. Despite these innovations, the design isn't without potential issues. One of the concerns with the wavy swash plate is that it requires rollers to function. Over time, these rollers could wear down or fail, which could become a weak point in the engine's long-term reliability. However, for now, these are just potential concerns that need to be addressed as the technology is refined. The efficiency of the engine isn't the only feature that makes the Rex engine stand out. Another significant benefit is how it reduces vibrations. Opposed piston engines are known for their balanced operation, which means they produce much lower levels of vibration compared to conventional engines. Lower vibrations translate to a smoother driving experience and less wear and tear on the engine components over time. The Rex engine, thanks to its unique design, aims to make driving quieter and more comfortable, which could be a significant factor in its adoption, particularly in environments where noise pollution is a concern. In summary, the Rex engine presents an intriguing development in engine technology. It promises to be much lighter and quieter than traditional engines, with the added benefit of reduced vibrations. The use of opposed pistons combined with the wavy swash plate design offers greater efficiency, especially with the potential for optimizing the engine to run on different fuel types. While the technology behind the engine isn't entirely new, the combination of these features into one compact unit could be a game changer for the transport sector, especially as the demand for more efficient, sustainable, and quieter engines grows. However, as with any new technology, there are challenges to overcome. The reliability of the rollers in the swash plate, the potential for wear and tear, and the overall transparency of the company's operations are all factors that need further attention. Still, if the engine performs as promised, it could mark a significant step forward in the evolution of transport technology. Whether or not it will live up to the hype remains to be seen, but it's certainly a development worth keeping an eye on. Now that we have explored the technical aspects of the Rex engine, let's dive into the key questions that surround its application, marketing, and potential real-world use. One of the most interesting claims about the Rex engine is that it's a one-stroke engine. But what exactly does this mean? And is it really as revolutionary as it sounds? In order to answer that, it's important to first understand how the terms one-stroke, two-stroke, and four-stroke are typically used in the context of engine design. Most conventional engines we see in vehicles today are either four-stroke or two-stroke engines. A four-stroke engine, such as those commonly used in cars, goes through 4 distinct stages in each cycle: intake, compression, power, and exhaust. These stages are responsible for bringing in air and fuel, compressing the mixture, igniting it to produce power, and then expelling the exhaust gases. A two-stroke engine, on the other hand, completes its cycle in just 2 strokes of the piston, one for compression and one for power. Two-stroke engines are often used in smaller, simpler machines like dirt bikes and lawnmowers, but they tend to burn oil and create more pollution. The idea behind a one-stroke engine is that it would complete its power cycle in a single stroke. This would theoretically make the engine more efficient, as there would be less wasted movement. However, if we look closely at the Rex engine, it's clear that the term one-stroke is more of a marketing strategy than a technical reality. The Rex engine doesn't actually complete a power cycle in one stroke, as the name might suggest. Instead, it operates more similarly to a two-stroke engine, but with some key differences that make it stand out. The reason InnEngine calls it a one-stroke engine is because they want to distance themselves from the traditional two-stroke engines, which are known for burning oil and producing high emissions. By labeling the Rex engine as a one-stroke, they aim to emphasize that it is a cleaner alternative to the two-stroke engines that have been criticized for their environmental impact. In fact, unlike two-stroke engines, the Rex engine does not require oil to burn along with the fuel, which means it produces fewer harmful emissions. However, this doesn't make it a true one-stroke engine in the traditional sense. It is, in reality, more of a two-stroke engine with a few modifications designed to reduce emissions and improve efficiency. Despite the marketing gimmick around the term one-stroke, there is potential in the Rex engine's design. One of the main applications of the engine is as a range extender for electric vehicles. A range extender is essentially a small engine that kicks in when the vehicle's battery power runs low, allowing the car to continue operating without needing to be plugged in for a recharge. The REX engine could work well in this context because it is compact, lightweight, and very quiet, important qualities for a hybrid or electric vehicle. It could provide the additional power needed to extend the range of an electric vehicle without adding much weight or noise. In fact, the REX engine is already being tested in a prototype vehicle. InnEngine has demonstrated the engine running in an MX-5, a small sports car. The 500cc engine in the prototype is designed to work as a range extender, providing additional power when the car's electric battery runs low. This is an interesting application of the technology, as it highlights the potential of the REX engine to enhance the functionality of electric vehicles without compromising space or comfort. But while this sounds promising, there are some concerns with the prototype that need to be addressed before the engine can be widely adopted. One issue with the prototype is that the REX engine, as it currently stands, isn't really designed to directly propel a car on its own. Instead, it is used to extend the vehicle's range by providing additional power to the electric motor when the battery runs low. This is an important distinction because it means that the engine is not intended to replace the electric motor, but rather work in tandem with it. While this may make sense in a hybrid or electric vehicle, it also raises questions about how the engine will perform in the real world. Will it be able to provide enough power to effectively extend the vehicle's range, or will it struggle to keep up with the demands of modern driving? Another concern is the marketing description of the engine, which claims that it runs completely on atmospheric pressure and uses no turbocharger. However, a closer look at the prototype reveals that it is actually connected to a supercharger, which forces air into the engine to help it operate more efficiently. This raises some questions about the accuracy of the company's claims. If the engine is relying on a supercharger, it suggests that the engine needs forced air to function properly, which contradicts the idea that it runs entirely on atmospheric pressure. This is an important detail that could affect the engine's overall efficiency and performance. The use of a supercharger is especially significant because it plays a crucial role in getting the exhaust gases out of the engine. In the REX engine, the pistons block the exhaust ports when they move, which means there's no natural way for the exhaust gases to escape. A supercharger helps to force the exhaust out of the engine by maintaining pressure and pushing the gases through the exhaust ports. While this may work in a prototype, it raises questions about the long-term reliability of the system and whether it will continue to perform as expected over time. Given these concerns, the future of the REX engine remains uncertain. While the concept of a small, quiet, efficient range extender is appealing, there are still several issues to work out before the technology can be considered truly revolutionary. For one, the lack of transparency regarding the supercharger raises red flags. It's unclear whether the engine can truly operate as advertised, or if it will require more modifications and adjustments to function effectively in the real world. Additionally, the use of crowdfunding instead of traditional investment strategies is another cause for concern. Crowdfunding campaigns often lack the checks and balances that come with traditional investment, which can make it difficult to evaluate the true viability of a project. Despite these challenges, there is still potential for the REX engine to make an impact in the automotive industry. Its compact size, low vibration, and low emissions make it an appealing option for hybrid and electric vehicles, especially as the demand for more sustainable transport solutions continues to grow. However, before we can truly assess its potential, more information is needed. Specifically, we need more details on the engine's efficiency, power output, and long-term reliability. In conclusion, the REX engine offers an intriguing look at the future of transport technology. While it's clear that the engine's design has some promising aspects, there are still several unanswered questions about its true capabilities and long-term viability. The marketing gimmick of calling it a one-stroke engine aside, the technology behind the engine is still in its early stages, and there's much more to be learned. For now, it's an exciting concept, but the road ahead is filled with challenges that need to be addressed before the REX engine can become a mainstream solution for the transport sector.